Good evening, students. Good evening, everyone. Am I audible to you all?
Good evening, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we will be starting in few minutes. Let's wait for some more people to join and then we will start, right? Good evening, everyone. Let's start the class. I think most of you have joined, and the remaining ones who have not joined till now will be joining simultaneously in the coming time, right? So, first, let me
Yes,
share
ma'am.
my screen. Just let me know whenever you are able to see whatever I'm sharing. I hope my screen is visible now to everyone. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you for confirming. So at first, let me just let take you all through the syllabus. It is the third class of pharmacovigilance, and in the previous class, we have discussed regarding the first module, as you can see on the screen, that is Introduction to Pharmacovigilance. In that, we have what we have learned. Can any one of you please recall and just share? Am I audible to all? Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, please, can any one of
Yes, ma'am.
you please share whatever we have studied in the previous class?
What is the role of PV department?
Okay. What is the role of PV department? Okay. So what is the role of PV department?
To ensure patients are protected from potential harms, maximize the efficacy of drug, uh, and aware people about the recent advances.
Yeah. The main role and responsibility of the people who are working in pharmacovigilance department is that whenever any drug is circulating in market, they have to collect the feedback or the report or information from the market or wherever the drug has been distributed, so that those particular information can be analyzed and a database can be prepared where the benefits and the risks or the adverse events, adverse drug reactions, whatever it is, they can be jotted down on a single platform. And if any kind of a thing which is not good for the patient can be discussed and can be taken into consideration. If here that role is like monitoring, continuous monitoring, just so that if anything harmful is like happening just because of any kind of drug or medical device or any other biological product, then it can be prevented from further use. Okay. So that here the like we have their role is to maximize the benefits and reducing the risks as much as possible. There are exceptions that some of the reactions does not don't occur in in a quick amount of time or does not appear to be to the patients in just immediately. It just appears in patients as in a form of symptoms or anything else with the chronic use of the medical devices or the drugs. So in that case, what happens is that those data are being collected, and for the interim action that is being taken is like the usage of drug is being like stopped, and afterwards uh, the modifications are being done by the people who are involved in the formulation of that product. And then if different clinical trial procedures and all these studies are being done, and if satisfactory result is being found out, then again that drug is being circulated and distributed in the market. So we have all read about that things, right? Now we will be going through the second module, that is pharmacovigilance, regulations and guidelines. In this you can see that we will be looking after the different regulations of different pharmacovigilance regulations, and we will be discussing about different regulatory authorities, right? Different regulatory authorities, international bodies who have different regulations and whose regulations are being followed for the harmonization of guidelines. Then different guidelines for adverse event reporting and management. And the third one is different tools that are being used for this regulatory compliance, like in pharmacovigilance. Okay, so let's start. At first, I want to show you something, that this is an example. I hope the screen is visible clearly to everyone, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. As you can see on the screen, this is a form which is being titled as Suspected Adverse Drug Reaction Reporting Form. It is for voluntary reporting of ADRs by healthcare professionals. Indian Pharmacopoeia Commission. Everybody knows about it, right? What is Indian Pharmacopoeia Commission?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. And you can see this is the like heading, and thereafter you can see the table goes as follows. They have two different sections where you can select that the case that you are reporting, that that particular healthcare professional is reporting, is a kind of initial case, like it has not happened earlier, or it is a kind of follow-up case. Follow-up case means that such kind of case has happened in the past also, and this is a kind of repetition. Okay. Then, and on the right side you can see for different registration number, IPD number, OPD number, that is like in the regarding this kind of information are just for the people who come in the hospitals, like the patient information or whatever it is, right? That is the first three things on the right hand side. And then comes the left hand side, where you can see that patient information. In patient information, the details of the patients are being done, entered, in which that kind of adverse drug reaction has been reported. And in the section B you can see that suspected adverse reaction. Here the reaction, like kind of tentative date with the communication and discussion from the patient is being done, and accordingly that particular reaction start date and stop date. Like start date, obviously the patient will be knowing, so he or she will be communicating it to the healthcare professional, and that person will be mentioning an event or reaction stop date. Maybe some of the reactions may be ongoing stage, so here the stop date will not be there, and in some cases may be there that it the reaction may have occurred for some amount of time, so that in that case a stop date, that is the end date, will be there, so that will date will be mentioned. Then in the seventh serial number, you can see that describe the event or reaction management with details, if any. Like here, a kind of description is being written regarding the management of this reaction. Like what kind of medication is being taken to just control the like severe symptoms or anything. Such kind of description is being mentioned here. Then in serial number 8 in section C, which is coming under suspected medications. Here the medication details are being entered, like the name of the drug. If the brand it is branded, then brand name is being mentioned, and if it is generic, then the obviously the generic name. Then the manufacturer, then batch number or lot number. If that particular uh, medicine, generally in case of OSD drugs, if it is available, then there is labeling available with the patient only, and there we can refer these details like the manufacturer, batch number or lot number, expiry date, dose, such kind of things, and route and frequency, such kind of things can be like fetched easily. But in case of parenteral drugs, these kind of drugs are not generally accessible to patients. Like these are not kind of handy drugs. Okay, this type of drugs are being available in hospitals only, and that too, like limited people have access to that those kind of drugs, because the parenteral drugs are not taken via mouth. Okay, do you know the difference between OSD drugs and parenteral drugs? Like, do you know the different routes of administration in a human body? Different routes of administration of drugs in
Madam,
the human body?
OSA is orally,
Yes,
oral
ma'am.
route, madam. OSA is through oral route.
Okay, can you
And the
name the
parenteral is
different
through the
different
IV.
routes of administration of drugs in the human body?
So, madam, the one is orally, like tablets, suspensions, syrups, and all. Okay.
Okay.
Then other one is through parenterals, like intramuscular, intravenous, subcutaneous, intramuscular, and all, etc. Then one more is the intrathecal is there. Then through rectal is there.
Okay.
So these are the various routes.
Okay.
One is
No?
topical also. Topical application is one of the route.
Okay. Yeah. So which one is the most critical, like critical type of route of administration?
That is parenteral, madam. Parenteral.
Why so?
Because it requires one a person to inject them. There is no, there won't be any for this, self medication to consume by the patients. They should take a help of any medical fraternity like parenterals,
Like what
like
will happen if
IV.
the patient takes or like applies those medication by himself or herself? Like what will happen?
No,
What
it
is
will
the
be very difficult for.
no,
It will
like
be
see,
because they
if I
can.
am a
It will be.
like see, just for example, in case of any kind
Yes,
of
madam.
parenteral drugs, as you are saying that it is not taken through mouth, right? It is being taken
Yeah,
like other
through
modes.
injectables.
Yeah,
Yeah,
injectables. Okay, through injection,
yeah,
it is being injected. So just for
yes.
example, if I know how to inject any drug in the body, right? And I am
Hmm.
like, for example, I have done any kind of training and I know that how to inject any drug in the body.
Yes, madam.
So, just in any case, I bring, and I'm one of the healthcare professionals in
Yeah.
any of the healthcare institutes. So,
Okay,
in
madam.
any case, just for example, just I take one of the vials. You know, na vials
Yeah.
and ampoules,
Yeah,
right? These
yeah,
are
yeah, yeah,
containers which are being used for
yeah,
packaging of different parenteral drugs. So,
yeah,
I take
yeah,
one of the medications which are in vial form or ampule form, and then I
yeah.
just inject that particular drug into my body. So
Okay.
what will happen? Like if I know, so why is it critical or why is it dangerous? Like I just
But
want to know.
there will be abscess in that places. There may be any inflammation in that place of injection or swelling of the place, and it may have any reactions also. So unless in the body, because sometimes it goes directly to the blood vessels, where any change in the osmotic pressure
It
also
may
it will
happen
have
if
some
you take
problems.
any OSD drug or if you are allergen to any kind of particular product which is being used in OSD drug. It may happen that you can get inflammation in some of the areas, rashes or
Yeah, yeah, that will be the
like,
gastritis and all. It may have no issues in orally swallowing drugs.
see, the thing is why parenteral drugs are more parenteral route of administration is more dangerous and more critical as compared to other routes of administration, because in parenteral routes of administration, parenteral routes, it consists
Faster.
of the administration of drugs directly into the,
Yeah, so
like
it will be
most of the
having
cases
faster
it is
reaction.
directly into the veins, right? Directly into the
Yes.
veins most of the cases. It is
So
also
it will
having
faster.
subcutaneous. Please let me complete,
Yeah.
then you can share,
Yes,
otherwise it will be a kind of confusion, people
yes,
will
madam.
won't be able to get it. So in parenteral routes, the
Okay.
most of the drugs of administration are intravenous. Like there are also subcutaneous, inhalational and intramuscular drugs, but the most critical one is the intravenous, and most of the medications in the market are available in the intravenous form, like IV form only. So what happens in that case? This kind of drugs are directly, most of the drugs in parenterals are directly injected into the veins. Okay, so what happens in OSD form of route of drug administration, you ingest any medication, any tablet, anything so which is like having which is to be taken through OSD form of administration. So it will be passing through different layers of your digestive system, and you will be having some time. If any kind of adverse reaction has to happen, then it will be your body will be having some time. Okay, and accordingly there are chances that it may develop your body to react in that way. Like what happens is, why cracking sound is coming from background? Please mute your mic if you're not sharing any of the things. So what happens is that it passes through different layers of digestive system, and there are chances that it will reach your bloodstream. Obviously the target site has the target site of the drug is somewhere, and the drug molecule or the drug product will be going into your stomach, and from there from the small intestine, the drug will be from small intestine or large intestine, whatever is the like pickup point for the drug. It will be traveling through the bloodstream, and it will be reaching the target site. Okay, for example, if you are having any kind of pain pain into the pain in legs or anything, so just take for example, you are taking any painkillers in the form of tablets, so it will be going into your mouth, going into your stomach through your mouth, and then it will be digested there. The molecule will be the drug tablet will be broken into different pieces, and then after that the body will absorb the actual component from the that particular tablet, and it will be traveling to the target site, like where the pain is there, from through the bloodstream. That's why it is a time taking process. Hence you observe the effects of that particular drug after some time. But in case of parenterals, especially IV, that is intravenous drugs, it is directly injected into the bloodstream, and there is like a no time gap. Like as soon as you inject in the bloodstream, it directly flows into the bloodstream and reaches the target site. That like the onset of action for parenteral drugs in case of intravenous drugs is very less as compared to OSD drugs. So if any kind of abnormality is present in the drug, then the patient will tend to face these kind of adverse drug reactions earlier than as compared to OSD drugs. So this is the difference. That's why the manufacturing of parenteral drugs is very critical. Got it? In case of OSD drugs, the route of administration is through your mouth generally. So it has to flow through different layers of your body. So it has time. The onset of action is like more as compared to parenteral drugs. That's why it is very much critical that you pay very much attention while manufacturing of these parenteral drugs. Hence, uh, special care or special vigilance is being kept while monitoring of these parenteral drugs. Got it? So where we, yeah, the route of administration is being mentioned, and the frequency. In section C you can see that therapy dates, date started, date stopped. Accordingly it can be fetched through date of as mentioned in section B, an indication that what kind of indication the person is facing, and the causality assessment. All these are things are being done, and then in section number 9, serial number 9, action taken after reaction, all these details are being mentioned. And at last, signature or a signature and name of the receiving personnel. Receiving personnel is a healthcare professional. That person is doing the signature, and in this case the confidentiality of the patient's identity is kept, confidentiality is being taken into consideration. The patient's identity is kept hidden and is not shared with anyone. Submission of any of the reports does not constitute an admission that medical personnel or manufacturer or the product caused or contributed to the reaction. Submission of an ADR report does not have any legal implication on the reporter as well. Okay, many people tend to fear that if they submit any kind of ADR, then there will be legal implications on those reporters, but it is not like that, and the identity is kept very much hidden, so they don't need to worry that people will be harassing them, that why they are reporting such kind of things. Okay, so you should remember, in case of adverse events, what should be reported? What should be reported? People are very much confused that what kind of adverse events or adverse drug reactions should be reported. So every kind of reaction or every kind of event should be reported. Report non-serious, known or unknown, frequent or rare adverse drug reactions due to medicines, vaccines, herbal products, medical devices, anything you have to report. Report every serious drug reactions. A reaction is serious when the patient outcome is death, life threatening, hospitalization, disability, or congenital anomaly. And you like, it is your moral responsibility that you report such reactions or events, so that permanent impairment or damage can be prevented. Okay, and there are also confusions that who all can report, like who people think that where to report, who all can report, am I eligible to report or not. All the healthcare professionals, clinicians, dentists, pharmacists, and nurse, etc., can report adverse drug reactions. Like suppose if some of you might be thinking that you are not a healthcare professional, so you can go to any of the doctors, any of the hospitals, right? Any of the hospitals, doctors, you can go there, and generally what happens is that people some of the people might be thinking that if I go to a doctor, will this thing be working or not. So this form is being taken, from the IPC site, and it is available there. This form has to be downloaded, and this downloaded, and the details as I have shown above to be filled by the healthcare professional, and simultaneously they will be submitting this particular form in that site only. There is an option. Okay, the person who are in the IPC, CDSU, and the healthcare government officials, they analyze all these reports, and the legal implication or action has been taken, or the notice is being given to the manufacturer against this adverse drug reaction reports. So all the healthcare professionals uh, can be able to report these adverse drug reactions. And yeah, or where to report. Duly filled in suspected adverse drug reaction reporting form can be sent to the nearest adverse drug reaction monitoring center, AMC, or directly to the National Coordination Center, NCC, or AMC for PVPI. Or else, if you can also call on this helpline number, uh, which is being given on the screen, you can see, to report the ADRs, or you can also directly mail this filled form to the email ID that is being given. What happens to the submitted information? Information provided in this form is handled in strict confidence. Like people will be thinking that kuch hoga ya nahi hoga, mera information consider hoga ya nahi hoga, but it is not like that. Information provided in this form is handled in strict confidence. The causality assessment is carried out at AMCs, that is adverse drug reaction monitoring centers, by using the WHO UMC scale. The analyzed forms are forwarded to the NCC PVPI through ADR database. Finally, the data is analyzed and forwarded to the Global Pharmacovigilance Database managed by the WHO Uppsala Monitoring Center in Sweden. Right? The reports are periodically reviewed by the NCC PVPI. The information generated on the basis of these reports helps in continuous assessment of the benefit risk ratio of medicines. The signal review panel of PVPI reviews the data and suggests any interventions that may be required. And the last is the mandatory fields for suspected ADR reporting form. Patient initials, age at onset of reaction, reaction term, date of onset of action, suspected medications, and report on information. All these things has to be mandatorily filled in the form, and these particular fields are being marked as star, so you can understand that yes, this kind of fields are mandatory and can't be skipped while filling the form. And yeah, this is all those things, and it is very much easy. Like, you don't need to be very much like pro. People think that कि मेरे को form भरना आएगा कि नहीं आएगा, ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है. You can go to any of the healthcare professional and you can just report any of the adverse drug reaction that you might be facing into your locality, or maybe in other localities. So you can report any of the reactions, right? I hope somebody has asked this question in the group. So this is the like explanation for that particular confusion. I hope this is clear now for everyone.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, great. So we have discussed about the reporting, adverse event reporting and risk management. Like how do we report the adverse events? So just tell now we will be discussing about the different pharmacovigilance regulations, right? Just let me open the PPT. Yeah. Wait a second. Yeah. So my question will be first. Just tell me, how is this pharmacovigilance related to any of the regulatory authorities or any of the international bodies whose regulations are taken into consideration for preparing the guidelines, regulatory guidelines? Am I audible to you all?
Yes.
So please tell me, how is this what do you understand, or what kind of thought process or opinion do you have regarding the relation of pharmacovigilance with respect to any regulatory body and or any of the international governing body who makes the regulations for each and every country or each and every place, and those regulations are followed for the harmonization of the guidelines all over the world. What do you understand? What do you know about this? Are you able to understand my question or not?
Ma'am, that
No.
you're asking like ICH guidelines, like that guidelines.
Okay. No, actually, I'm asking. Um. See, no, just let me simplify this. What is just first? Let me know what is the role of any regulatory body. Do you know what is a regulatory body in pharmaceutical industry?
To ensure the quality of drug standard.
Okay. What is a regulatory body? What is a regulatory body? Do you know what is the regulatory
Regulates.
authority or regulatory body in pharmaceutical industry?
Yes,
Like
ma'am.
CDSO, madam.
FDA, like FDA is a
CDSO.
regulatory body, ma'am.
No, I'm not talking about example. Like, what is a regulatory body? What is a
CD,
function or what do they do?
It's
They
uh,
govern the
ensuring the
work of a certain
safety,
department.
Please, one by
ensuring the
one.
safety, ensuring the safety, efficacy, quality of medicines.
Yes.
They will review
And
the ongoing medicines. That is, they will overview the some key regulatories.
Key regulatories. What kind of regulatories?
uh, like pre-qualification of medicines, how to when they are supplying for globally.
Mm. Okay, just give me some examples of some of the regulatory bodies you know about.
one is
just like
CDSO, madam.
NPPA, National Pharmaceutical Pricing Authority.
No.
Madam, one is a CDSO, another one is uh, what's that?
National Pharmaceutical Pricing Authority is not a regulatory body.
Regulator. Yeah, one is CDSO, madam,
WHO?
and drug CDBA. Another one is mm, the Drug Consultative Committee, madam.
Not only
DCC.
India, I'm just every country has one regulatory authority.
Yeah.
Okay, so for India it is CDSCO only. The other bodies which are these, which are the you have mentioned, these are the governing bodies regarding different kind of functions they have
Yes,
been
madam.
given. Like the NPPA is for the pricing of the drugs that are being marketed in India, right?
And, yes, madam.
Yeah, this kind of,
And,
so that is not the regulatory authority,
yeah, that is not
the
the
governing
regulatory.
body. So for
Yes,
India it is CDSCO. For
yes, madam.
United States, USA, it is United States FDA, Food and Drug
FDA,
Administration,
yeah.
right?
And
For
other one is,
for UK, it is MHRA.
yes, and TGA
For
is for Australia.
TGA is for Australia. For EU, that is European Union, it is EMA, European Medicines Agency. For Brazil, it is
Yes, madam.
Anvisa. For Brazil, it is Anvisa. For Colombia, it is Invima.
Yes,
So
madam.
this kind of
Okay.
different regulatory bodies are there. Each country has one regulatory body. Multiple regulatory bodies are not present in any single country. Okay,
Yes,
there
madam.
is one regulatory body who governs the approval of any drug that has to be marketed in that country. For example, if any of the drugs being manufactured by any manufacturer who is being situated in India or abroad, So that medication has to be approved by the CDSCO. Okay. Then they look after the uh, like um, look after the different drugs that is being ongoing in the market. They do multiple audits and inspection, so that as you have said, the safety, efficacy, and all those things can be monitored, and whether these the manufacturing plants, the pharmaceutical organizations are following the GMP and GDP guidelines or not. Okay. Also, uh, if anything happens when they go for inspection or audit in any of the companies, and if they find that the things are not going on, they tend to issue warning letters to such companies or organizations. So in that case, the marketing of the drugs, the marketing sorry the like the drugs that are being sent for marketing from that particular organization or companies to such countries, that is being kept on hold. Okay, unless and until the company or the organization provides justification for the observations being found during the audit or inspection. Okay, so such is the function of the regulatory authorities. They prepare several guidelines that has to be followed to um, uh, sell the drugs in their countries, or for the and these kind of regulations are for the benefits, for for the patient safety, so that the manufacturers don't bypass any of the safety norms, and they prepare or manufacture the drugs with full uh, like uh, what you can say, with all ethical and compliant processes, right? So in let's discuss about different regulatory authorities. And before that, let's look after some of the very famous or very like uh, such terms which are widely used in case of pharmacovigilance. So first term that you will be keep on hearing often, that is adverse drug reaction, right? Adverse drug reaction is a kind of reaction which is very much unwanted or harmful, and it is experienced through the administration of a drug or combination of drugs or any kind of usage of medical device under normal conditions of use, which is be suspected to be related to the drug or the thing you are using. Adverse event is untoward medical occurrence in a patient or clinical trial subject administered a pharmaceutical product which does not has a necessarily does not have a relationship with the treatment. Okay, like treatment आपका कुछ और चल रहा है and any other type of reaction you are observing, so that kind of thing is called adverse event. Third is signal detection. Signal detection is a process of identifying new safety information from various data sources, including spontaneous reporting systems, literature, and different clinical trials. The fourth type of term which you will be getting to hear often is RMP, risk management plan. It is a kind of detailed plan which is used to identify, characterize, prevent, or minimize the risks that are associated with the pharmaceutical products, including the assessment of the effectiveness of these interventions. And generally, risk management plan is being prepared in case of any adverse drug reaction observed or any adverse event observed. Got it? Fifth one is case report form. Case report form is a type of document which is being used in clinical research to record the standardized data for each patient participating in a clinical trial. So this kind of form is kept very much confidential, and the data is not shared with any of the person, only the person who has recorded the data and the patient. It is being kept in between the two only. Okay. Then you will be hearing many times about the causality assessment. It is a kind of evaluation. Don't worry about these particular PPT. I will be sharing this PPT later on after this class in the group on WhatsApp. So you can download it from there and you can refer for your future use. Okay. So just listen and understand what these terms mean. Don't tend to be busy in writing all these definitions. It will be shared to you after this class. You can refer it from there. Sixth one is the causality assessment. The causality assessment is a kind of evaluation that a drug uh, caused or contributed to an adverse event or adverse drug reaction, why it happened, and all those assessment is being done to find out the root cause of that particular reaction. Why did it happen? How did it happen? What is the source of origin? What are the things associated? All this kind of investigation is being done. The seventh term is data log point, that is also abbreviated as DLP. It is a kind of the point in time in which a database is considered to be ready for analysis and reporting. Eighth is periodic safety update report, PSUR. It is a kind of report which provides an update of the worldwide safety experience of a medicinal product at defined time points post authorization. Like any drug which gets approved in any of the countries, so when this drug is being marketed and it is being distributed to different consumers or customers or healthcare professionals, so after their consumption of this drug, feedback is being taken, a market feedback or analysis is being done on the experience of the usage of this drug, and a report is being prepared, that is called as periodic safety update report. Okay. The ninth term is the development safety update report, that is DSUR. It is a report on the safety of a drug under development required annually by the regulatory authorities. So these kind of drug reports are being developed annually, like every year it has to be updated to the different regulatory authorities. So for example, if I'm working in a company which is manufacturing propofol, propofol is a kind of general anesthesia. You know what is the function of general anesthesia? Hello. Hello.
Re- Reversible loss of consciousness.
Yes, and what is the area of action for that general anesthesia? What, what is the difference between local anesthesia and general anesthesia?
Local
Local
anesthesia is
Madam,
anesthesia.
particular for
One by one.
particular
Local.
for
Hello, madam. Local anesthesia is only for the specific place, in a specific place, whereas general
Yeah.
anesthesia is totally from head to foot.
Yeah.
So
So
it's
general anesthesia is regarding numbing your the overall body at a single time. Okay. And local anesthesia is a kind of medication which is being given into your body. For example, just numbing or making your body part numb. For example, if I have to numb my hand only, and other parts of the body is not required to be made numb, so a local anesthesia will be injected in my body. Propofol is an example of general anesthesia. So general anesthesia are generally used in the in different surgeries, operations. Okay, the patient is being injected with general anesthesia so that he or she can become unconscious, and the like he can lose the overall consciousness of the overall consciousness of the patient is being lost, and he or she is not enough state to like listen, hear or do anything. like literally हम हिंदी में बोलते हैं ना बेहोश हो जाना, पूरे बेहोश कर देना. So this is the work of or function of general anesthesia. So propofol is one of the examples of very famous example of general anesthesia in the pharmaceutical world. So if I am working in a company which is manufacturing propofol, and suppose it is being marketed, or it has to be marketed in US. So year on year several development programs or all these things are being going on. So I have to provide a regular update annually to these US FDA officials, and if I fail to do so, so there will be legal implications on that. Then the 10th term is EUDRA vigilance. It is a kind of centralized European database for managing and analyzing information on suspected adverse drug reactions to medicines authorized in the European Economic Area. That is, it is a kind of a database management system in Europe Economic Area. So it is related to a kind of software using the software, right? Then it has MedDRA, that is Medicinal Dictionary for Regulatory Activities. It is also a kind of terminology for sharing the to facilitate the sharing of regulatory information internationally for medical products used by humans. Then ICH guidelines, an organization that brings together regulatory authorities and pharmaceutical industry to discuss scientific, technical. ICH is generally for the regulatory harmonization of the regulatory guidelines, overall regulatory guidelines over the world. Then aggregate report. It is a kind of report that provides an overview of safety data over a specific period for a pharmaceutical product, including both individual case reports and summarized safety data. Then very famous is post-marketing surveillance. It is the monitoring of drugs once they have been released on the market, primarily to identify and evaluate the adverse effects not detected during the pre-market testing. So post-marketing surveillance is the last stage of clinical trials. I hope you know clinical trials. I will be discussing in details in the next class. But do you have some, I think you might be having some idea regarding that, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
So post-marketing surveillance is the very common term used in pharmacovigilance, and it is the last stage of clinical trials. Okay. Then all these things are there. We will be discussing these different terms in the upcoming classes. I think we are not having much time, so let me discuss some of the very common tools used in pharmacovigilance. We will be discussing the clinical trials and the use like role of regulatory bodies in next class, like tomorrow's class. Okay, it is only included in the second module, but it is a lengthy topic, so not let me just not start the discussion today because few time is only left. Let me just explain you different uh, softwares that are being used in pharmacovigilance regarding this reporting, or so not reporting, this database management system. So you can see here the Ares G and the Oracle Argus. These are the like very common used softwares which are being used for the regulatory compliance in pharmacovigilance. But let me show you some more are there. And at first let me discuss about the two that we have shown here. See, these type of uh, softwares are being used in pharmacovigilance. First is Oracle Argus, very famous. Ares G, okay. Then Oracle Adverse Event Reporting System, CleanTrace, PVNet, Rep Clinical, Vigilance, Dynamic Monitoring System, Web, VDME, PVWorks. So the let's discuss about Ares G. Ares G, Ares Global, PVNet are used in pharmacovigilance, VG VGBase used in POM. Actually, these there are various different softwares being used in different companies. It is based on the company. That company hires or buys those softwares because these kind of softwares are chargeable, right? These kind of softwares are chargeable. So it is depending on the company only that which software it feels like using. So VGBase, it is a WHO Global Individual Case Safety Report database that contains the different ICSRs submitted by participating member states enrolled under WHO's International Drug Monitoring Program. Uppsala Monitoring Center in collaboration with Swissmedic has developed VigiFlow. It is a kind of web-based management system, right? VigiFlow, VGBase you have might have heard. Then comes the Oracle Argus. It is a market-leading pharmacovigilance database. It is very much common and very much famous. Its main features include global case processing, signal detection, detailed analytics, electronic case intake, and electronic expedited reporting in both E2B and E2B R2 and R3 formats. So these two formats are available that in that particular software. I don't have access to that software, but it is very much easy. Like wherever you will be working in pharmacovigilance department in any of the companies, they will be giving you access to any of the softwares they will be using in their organization, and it is very much easy. The main crux of the softwares that are being used in the pharmaceutical industry regarding pharmacovigilance is that all these softwares are database management system, that is work on the principle of database management system, and the people tend to report all this feedback, all this information are being collected, they are being jotted down in the database management system, and a deep dive analysis is being done based on the information available on this database management system. And basis this analysis, the conclusion is being taken out that the uh, drug like the drug is going good, whether it is having any adverse drug reactions or not, if also it is having adverse drug reactions, whether it is critical or minor, such kind of things are being studied. Then comes the Ares G, that is Ares Global or Lifespan Safety. It is a kind of market leading pharmacovigilance database, and it has like a well established heritage in the industry. It is used by more than 300 companies that maintain their critical drug safety data in RSG worldwide. RSG provides all the functionality required to manage the adverse event reporting and adverse reaction requirements of different regulatory authorities around the world. Then VigiFlow comes. It is generally used in the case of hospitals. Most of the hospitals use this VigiFlow database management system for this pharmacovigilance thing. These generally these type of things are database management system, statistical methods for evaluating medical safety data. So there are also statistical methods for evaluating the medical safety data. What happens is that the different softwares are being used to prepare any database, and basis that statistical methods are being used to evaluate the data present on it. So regulatory agencies like FDA or different international organizations like ICH, PICS, these kind of organizations, or also WHO, they monitored the safety profile of all these drugs in their respective databases. Uh, by analyzing thousands of possible adverse events for thousands of drugs. No doubt, the screening of this large database of the spontaneous case reports on possible is very much tough, but they rely on uh, these very complex data mining techniques to facilitate the signal detection, to fetch the accurate and the exact report, right? And it is very much important to fetch those things. Otherwise, if any kind of falsification happens, then it will be very much difficult, and the legal implications are very bad. Like these kind of things consist of different legal implications and can be going through different legal processes if anything goes like wrong. Different statistical methods that are being used in case of these evaluations are the Bayesian confidence propagation neural network, empirical Bayesian geometric mean, proportional rate ratio, and odds ratio. I will be sharing this particular information also in the group, so don't worry. And if you are having any kind of doubt, I think we are ahead of time today. I will be sharing this the PPT. Along with that, I will be sharing this PPT as well. That is the like different terminologies we have looked after. And please go through this PPT once in very detail. If you find any of the PPTs in like any of the doubts, so please feel free to post those doubts in the group. I will be going through that particular doubts and I will be answering them in the next class. Okay, got
Right,
my
madam.
point?
Yes,
I
madam.
hope today's class was like informative for you all. Still, you have
Yeah,
any
yeah.
kind of doubt, just post those doubts in the group. I will go through it and I will be like happy to answer those questions. And also, I will be sharing these particular PPT and the PPT I've shown like regarding the different softwares used in the WhatsApp group of pharmacovigilance. You can refer that PPTs from there. Fine.
Yes,
Uh,
ma'am.
so we can wind up today's class. Let's meet for tomorrow's class at the same time, that is 6:20. Okay.
Yes, madam.
Okay.
So you guys can leave the class now.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Thank